Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, we are here in Ralga's Reach and just made contact with the Resistance regarding that alliance with the Eorzean Alliance. But we haven't received an answer yet, so let's see how this continues. So it would seem we find ourselves with a surf at a free time. Forgive me. We are free to look around Ralga's Reach. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. It'll give you a better grasp of our current circumstances. Thank you, Master Camp. I believe we will do just that. Let us make the most of this opportunity and assess the Resistance capabilities. Free to poke our noses wherever we will, huh? I like the sound of that. Well, I only know this place inside out. I can show you around if you like, Serenia. Great, let's get started. Well, I already took a look last episode. So I bet you think the Resistance is mostly made up of Alamegan Highlanders like me. But the truth is that we don't even account for half. We've got health scarred from all over by the spine in here, and plenty of Seekers of the Sun like Nago. There's even some beastmen, well, beast women I suppose, like the one over there. She's an Ananta. They've been with us for a while now. Well, one of the smaller factions has. The rest won't have anything to do with us. We are no different from the Guardians to them. They keep to themselves, spending all their time crafting. Ananta make the most amazing jewelry, by the way. They use magic to twist metal and crystal into shapes you wouldn't believe. It's a pity people hardly ever get to see their work, but then most don't even know they exist. That's enough about them anyway. Let's take a closer look at the statue of Ralga, shall we? That is that one, I suppose. Pretty awe-inspiring, isn't it? The breaker of worlds who guided our ancestors to these lands all those centuries ago. Ida used to tell me the story on stormy nights. She wanted me to understand, to remember. At the end of the 5th astral era, when the waters rose higher and higher, people all across the Eorzea besieged the heavens for a sign. And lo, a burning star appeared in the eastern sky, and led the way to these mountains of Giarbania. They who were saved by his grace pledged to honor and revere him, to devote themselves to great works without and within. A storm of blood approaches fast, hell's open heavens weep, for no one's soul doth lie beyond the measure of his reach. The last part was inscribed on the stone by a monk of the Fist of Ralga. Ida explained it to me. A day will come bringing strife and sorrow that none may escape. Waste not these precious hours, but in quiet preparation make strong the body and mind. I don't know if that storm of blood is finally upon us, but if it is, I have to believe that everything we've been through, everything that led us to this point, will see us through in the end. Sorry, that was all a bit melodramatic, wasn't it? Let's keep moving, shall we? Off to the infirmary. This is the infirmary, as you can probably tell. Here's where the resistance healers patch up the wounded and tend to the sick. No matter how carefully we plan our operations, casualties were inevitable. It's a sad thing to think about, but it's also important to remember the cost, as Conrad would say. We should go. I'll show you the Etherite Plaza next. But before, I want to talk with these two. You two are come to inspect the facilities? As you can see, they have done well to set aside this much space, but their supplies are insufficient. We examined the patients and offered what insight we could. However, for many of their injuries, time and bed rest are the only effective treatment. Too many wounded, too little medicine, too much to worry about. But so I don't. Instead, I pray every day for the fighting to end. I fear there may not be much I can do for this man. When you've seen one Etherite, you've seen them all, right? Not quite. This one's an older design, dating back decades to when the Fist of Valga was still here. It may look a little different, but it works just as well as any other. I'll show you where the settlers are next. But don't forget to attune to the Etherite before we go. Arms, armor, potions, you name it, these folks got it. The resistance would be in bad way without brave merchants to keep it provisioned. If you're short on anything or need something repaired, these are your people to speak to. Oh, Alvin and Eliza are here. Why don't we see how they're getting on? Can you take the measure of our friendly neighborhood merchants? They're both Lord Vetmar's plane. If the Imperials found out they were peddling the rest of the resistance, they would be lucky to escape with their lives. There's a gamble, I admire their courage, but their motives could hardly be said to be altruistic. Ah, here you are. I've been looking all over for you. We finished discussing your proposal and we're ready to receive you all back at the tent. I've sent someone to Veggie Stoller and Cryer, so if you'd like to follow me. Ah, already there.
Thank you all for waiting. We have reached a consensus. I, Conrad Kemp, do hereby accept the Eorzean Alliance's proposal. You must understand, however, that our cooperation comes with certain caveats.
Those caveats being...
I take no joy in this, just so you know. Were it within my power, I'd offer you more assistance. But the resistance is far more fragmented than you realize. The men and women in my care belong to but one of many factions. Simply put, I can only speak for the people of Rolga's Reach. Now, I have every intention of appealing to the others, and I expect many will agree. But it will take time, and I cannot guarantee universal support.
Understood. I shall see that the Alliance is under no misapprehensions as to your position.
Much obliged. But that's not the whole of it. As you can imagine, the loss of those who cast their lot with the Griffin left us short on numbers. Some of our most trusted veterans died at the wall, and we've had to fill their posts with the young and inexperienced. Frankly, everything's in a right bloody mess.
Oh, we'd be more than happy to help you get back on your feet. If we're going to work together, we'll be doing ourselves a favor.
Well, there's no shortage of work to be done, that's for sure. We're in dire need of new blood, too.
Ishtola and I could lend a hand in the infirmary. From what I saw, they could do with a few more healers.
Yeah. Ishtola had the right of it, right?
Very well. I, for my part, shall return to the Rising Stones. I'm certain there are others among the Scions who would welcome the opportunity to fight for Alamegan liberation.
Is there anything else we can do to help?
I had something else in mind for you lot. Monargo and Methrid will tell you more.
Okay.
Understood. We won't let you down.
Ivan, Menago and Method are to be our keepers. Knowing not of what they require, one task is as good as the other. Make a choice. The ether compass may now be used to locate ether currents in new regions. If you have misplaced your compass, you may get I still have it, don't worry. So let's start with Nago. We've met her before. Before we begin, I'd like to thank you and the Science again for patching me up. After I bled all over your floor, I owe you my life and I won't forget it. Further, it was rude of me to run off without saying a word. It was well and good me claiming my duties here couldn't wait, but a parting thank you was the very least you deserved. My apologies. And thank you. Now to business. Commander Kemp entrusted me with a formal reply to be hand-delivered to the Alliance leadership. It covers everything we discussed as well as detailing the disposition of our forces. What I need is an escort, 1 or 2 men at most, so we can make it to the wall swiftly and without attracting undue attention. Very well, I shall join you in this. General Alden commands the forces as Castrum Orients. It should be simple enough to see it to its hands. Great! That's just what I wanted to hear. When you're ready to depart, meet me at the path leading out of the Reach. At the risk of repeating myself, myself, it's still hard for me to believe that we'd meet again, here of all places. Well, I reckon you probably don't remember me after all this time, huh? Yes, I do, actually. We met him briefly when we were investigating the Asians were incentivizing young Alamegans into a summoning ritual. He vouched for us for Gundobad, right? That was him? I'm impressed. Given everything you went on to accomplish, you'd be forgiven for forgetting all about your time in Quarry Mill. Suffice it to say, we didn't forget about you either, nor the lives you saved. As for me, I went to Little Alamigo while Galleon was recovering. Galleon was the Griffin's double. Gundobald was my former commander and an old friend, and I had a lot on my mind. In the end, I decided to disband our unit. I told the men to live their lives as they saw fit. Some chose to remain in Little Alamigo, and others went to Uldar for work. But as you can see, I chose to come back to Gyarabania and join Conrad and the others. I kept busy since then, ferrying people and provisions across the border and back. It's not been easy, but it's been fulfilling. Today, however, we'll be heading east into the peaks. Conrad thinks we might have luck finding new recruits in a village of Alagana. Alagana? If you're going there, you're taking me with you. Ah, that's right. You're from Alagana, aren't you, Lise? By all means, we'd welcome the company. There'll be more to it than just asking around, but we can talk about it on the way. Make your preparations and meet me by the tunnel to the peaks. But I think we start... with a quest that leads us back to Castrum Oriens. I believe it's right? The border fortress. Because that, I think that's the immediately more important quest. Where is the Uga Ironheart? Oh, you're Ironheart, of course. That's the sightseeing log. Yep, sightseeing log, exactly. Ulga Ironheart at your service. I'm explorer, much of a clan, and my niece bade me share with you the knowledge I have accumulated. Here, let me along. Let's see now. Definitely there, and there. Yeah, that's ought to suffice. My explorations take me far and wide, but dearest to my heart are the regions of Alamigo. Beauteous in their ruggedness and the lands from the far east, glorious in their diversity. There are many wondrous sights to be seen in these places, and I've written down the directions to them. Some will prove more difficult to reach than others, but if you're even half as resourceful as Millet's claims, then I'm confident you will find them all, eventually. And with that, I shall leave you to resume your adventures. Go forth, my friend. Got everything you need? Good. Then let's be off. Quiet, hear that? It was a cerulean engine backfiring. Imperials. Ye gods, you have preternatural senses. I didn't hear a thing. When you grow up hunting in these lands, you learn to discern the sounds of what could mean life and death, be they of a predator or a patrol. From what I'm hearing, we have 7-man patrol augmented with a single Magitech armor. White search pattern divided into 2. No 3 teams. I don't think they know we're here. It's risky, but we should split up and try take them all by surprise at the same time. We don't want them calling reinforcements. 3 teams? 3 of us. Nothing for it then. Where are they? Head north. You should see them long before they see you. I'll deal with the ones to the south. The armor should be just to the west. Serenia's best equipped to deal with that. We attack in 5. That should be enough time to get into position. Rendezvous on the west bank after. Any questions? No. Then good luck. But leave me be. Hostile presence. Screw you, asshole. Periods are easier than a beast here. Fly, but I can't. I'm pleased to report the Emperor shot 3 soldiers, not that any self-respecting Legatus would be sorry to lose them. It looks like everything went to plan. Not that I'm surprised, but 3 soldiers I faced didn't put up much of a fight. Most of the Imperials who get out here are conscripts from other provinces with little training and even less conviction. It's grim work killing men and women like that, but don't doubt they would do the same to you if the roles were reversed. And don't you dare pity a man in armor. Conscript or no, a soldier piloting one of those can kill a dozen men in the blink of an eye. Not that I need to tell you that, but after what happened at the war. Right, I believe we were west long enough. We should resume our journey before someone notices the missing patrol. What now? We're clear. Only Alliance patrols ahead. You said the force at Custom Orient were under command of Flame General Rauban Alden, did we not? By Ralga, the Bull of Alamigo himself! I'd never dream I'd have a chance to meet the legend.
It is good to see you again, my friends. I hope you are here to tell me you have made contact with the Resistance.
We are, General. Allow me to introduce Monago of Rolga's Reach.
At your service, sir. And may I say what an absolute honor it is to stand before the Bull of Alamigo.
These are not the Blood Sands, girl. You and I are but soldiers on a battlefield fighting for the same cause.
As you say, General. On behalf of Commander Kemp of the Alamigan Resistance, I present to you our formal response.
Good. I'm glad we've reached an accord. Though I was not aware you had suffered such losses.
Aye. Some of our finest took part in the Griffin's doomed assault, and we've been struggling to find new recruits ever since.
But it's not unexpected, considering it was basically the greatest hope they had, and it turned out to be a suicide mission on behalf of a madman.
The massacres cast a pall over the whole Resistance, and many who might once have been open to joining us have since thought better of it.
After all of the Griffin's false promises, one can hardly blame them. They have no desire to give their lives for a lost cause.
We will not lie to them. This is war, and lives will be lost. Yet what we offer is not the fever dream of a madman, but true hope.
The people need proof of this, Father. Let us show it to them. I say we stand shoulder to shoulder with our new allies and engage the Garleans in open warfare. The Resistance must demonstrate that they can hold their own against Imperial regulars. And with our assistance, I am confident they can do just that. If we can achieve even a token victory, I believe it will serve to rekindle the hope of the Alamigan people and inspire them to rise up once more.
Aye. Aye. Once word spread that we'd won a battle against the Garleans, I'd wager we'd have new recruits flocking to us from malms around. The question is, when and where do we strike?
I'm glad you asked. I have a plan.
The man with a plan. Our scouts recently informed me of an interesting development at Castellum Velodine, namely the arrival of a shipment rumored to have come from the research and development facilities near the capital, containing prototype Magitech armor. It is our assessment that this armor is to be field tested here, most likely against Alliance forces, mayhap before the day is out. Damn it all, more Magitech weapons? That's the last thing we need. Your concern is not unwarranted, but we needn't despair just yet. The shipment is thought to have contained a single heavy unit and one or possibly two support units. With a well-laid ambush, we are confident we can destroy them all, thus hindering the development and delaying future deployment. And should we carry this out as a joint endeavor with the Resistance, they will have a rallying cry. It would mean dropping all pretense about the Alliance not wanting to go to war with the Empire, but you'd have a lot more folks willing to stand up and fight if they knew they weren't alone, and you are going to have to do it eventually anyway. Exactly. And so what I propose is simple. We harry their patrol to bait them into bringing their prototype weapons to East End, where our Resistance allies will take them from behind. Simple indeed, and well within our capabilities. I see no reason to delay. especially if a field test is imminent. What say you? Assuming the Vice Marshal's intelligence is accurate, I agree with his assessment and fully support his plan. I shall notify my comrades at once. Understood. I shall have one of my men bring you the details of the plan anon. And we for our part will be fighting with the Alliance, yes? I somehow doubt you were intending to sit this one out. Okay. But let's leave it here for this episode. Next time we lay the trap and let it spring. Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.